Can I be your superhero?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is, boys and girls. Welcome to the Earnhardt Experience, episode 12. Today, we were supposed to have the one and only Bart Wood, but he called me up and he's sick. So I had to shoot from the hip. And today, we have none other than Garrett Parker, who is a diamond among the rough, an unknown in the sport, but somebody who actually, I would argue, comes from arm wrestling royalty because of his father. Thanks for coming on to the show, Garrett.
No problem, man. Glad to have him.
Yeah. As someone once said, yeah, the show must go on. And so, Garrett, you have no ARS Arms stats.
Not at
You're
all.
fresh into the sport. And how old are you?
18 years old. I'll be 19 come March 2nd.
Wow, 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen. And what is your height and weight?
I'm sitting around 5'10", and I pull around 230 or so, but I'm probably going to bulk up for Alabama State coming up to around the 240 mark, and then I've got a super match with Ike Ford coming up after that, so I'll probably bulk up even more to gain rank for super.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. Ike Ford is that's a big boy right there. I've seen him in person at least twice, if I'm
I've seen
not mistaken.
get a pretty good hook on him, and I think I'm gonna have to probably pull outside with him.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to see the footage of that one, and or be there in person and see that for real. Because Ike Ford, that's a big juggernaut guy right there. Um, so, how long have you been into the sport?
Well, I come from a bunch of arm wrestlers. My uncle didn't know this till recently. Both my uncles on my mom's side were Illinois state champions, and my dad, kind of a local pro around Georgia. He trained with when he was real young. He trained with what's his name? We were just talking about it earlier, um, the other day.
Ron Bath.
No, not Ron Bath. He's more of a 70s and 80s puller. He started around the same time John Brezink.
Johnny Iceman Walker.
No. Can I come out of here or will it quit the live?
It won't quit the live, but you'll leave. So
Oh.
Joe
Well,
Rogers was that the one?
no, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Take
Anyway,
your time.
he was a pro back in the 70s. He started in the 60s, and he pulled around. Started pulling around the same time John Brezink was born. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's
All
old.
right. So what was your answer there again on how long you started it back ago?
I started probably 8 months ago.
Training for it and then eventually competing.
Well, first off, I probably went to 2 practices before my first amateur tournament. I took first place my first amateur tournament in super heavyweight, and in the under that 242.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So you're talking about what within a few months you went to 2 practices, then did an amateur tournament, right-handed. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I beat Brett Johns in the amateur class. He's supposed to be.
Oh, so you're okay. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Speaking of Brett Johns, I got this footage right here. Let me see here. right here, and because yeah.
Ready to go.
I mean, for real, man. Like you just went through him like nothing, and I'm seriously like, because I've actually trained or pulled into practice right and left arm with Brett Johns,
Right.
and Brett Johns is not weak. Like
Yeah.
I'm obvious, you know, I'm a left-hander,
Right.
and but like whenever I pulled him right-handed, I mean, I couldn't do nothing much with him in a practice. So that's impressive to me, and
Well,
especially for somebody being as fresh as you are, bro. For
you know,
real.
seen he's a very deep inside puller. Notice he's a very deep inside puller, and so I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
just the hand position and kind of was setting up for the press and didn't even need it. Uh, I watched the video back, and you can look in the background, and Brad Taylor and Brendan Baggett were also watching me. I think I put a little scare into those guys.
Brandon Baggett. Oh, yeah, he actually has me blocked. I don't know why. Me and Brandon Baggett were cool. Swear
I
to
love.
God, last time we talked, but I guess I'm a very controversial type person that only very few people can handle or not be phased by or whatever,
You
scared
know,
away.
I don't have a problem with any of them. I love Brandon. I
What were
love.
you saying?
I love Brett. Um, both good guys. Um, Brad seems to be a good dude. I mean, I have no problem with any of them. They're all respectable pullers in their own right.
I hear you. All right, so basically, you have only been pulling or practicing, training, all the above in arm wrestling for just like a few months, right? Like
Yeah, I
what?
past month or two just started doing actual weights. Before that, I was
Yeah,
just the table. So
bro. I think the writing is on the wall for you, son, for real. Because like just a few months into the sport, and you're making waves like this with guys that who I know a little something about. I mean, this is impressive because I would damn near say you're a fucking prodigy in the making for real.
that's what I'm.
Like you actually are like somebody like Kenny Hughes. Kenny Hughes was 16 years old and became world champion. God rest his soul. But that's what I'm seeing with you right now. It's like this is obviously a God given talent you have to be this strong and pull through these guys like they ain't shit.
The people I have the most problems with that I train with, strength wise, are probably Cody Wood and Paul Passmore. Um, but that's probably how I've gotten so strong, to be honest with you, is pulling with those guys. Because when you pull with them and then pull with someone else, they don't feel very strong anymore. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and I've pulled with both of them. I've never pulled or cared to pull Paul Passmore right hand, but he knows about my left hand game, and he's wanted to feel my power a little bit and then give me a few tips. Cody Wood, I've pulled both arms, and I mean the dude is
They're pretty equally
he,
as terrifying.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and Cody being smaller, yeah, underestimate and pick on the small man. You're gonna find out real quick what Cody Wood's all about for real.
Never
Because
know.
like that dude, his hands are not built like they should, in my opinion. Like he's got like small ish and not really built hands, but his arms and what have you, man.
But
He's
it's
like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
because him and I actually have pretty decently sized pretty decently similar sized hands. So as well as Joe Rogers, like hand size, me and him have the same issues with our thumbs with capping. Um, I've noticed a lot, when in the setup when we cap, I kind of have to hide my thumb a little bit as well. Same way with Joe, but
Gotcha.
even still,
So
Joe
you're
really
so
strong.
so yeah. So you're always capping. You never not cap in the setup.
It depends on who I'm pulling. If I'm pulling somebody who I know I can probably press through outside, I'm gonna, kind of do what Joe C. Graves, Jerry Caderet do. I'm gonna set it for the press, and if I have to use it, I'm gonna use it. Um,
It's funny
I'm
you mentioned Joey Seagraves. Been there, done that one too.
very strong dude. If you can catch them, you can catch them. If you can't, then you gotta look.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have to catch them, so
What it is with him, and it's easy if you know strategy and the setup and what have you, is you got to set up and get that dude outside his shoulder in the setup.
right,
If he can get behind that at all, I mean
straight down
he's
the pad.
third. Yeah, yeah, straight down. Yeah,
That's
and he's a young one too. You know,
it's
he's a young one too, just like you. Another young gun who's doing his thing. You know, yeah, yeah.
right.
So you're saying you got Ike Ford and you're going to Alabama State. I do have plans to go to Alabama State, but at the same time, unfortunately, still going to have to see about that
Right.
for certain reasons.
I didn't think
Unfortunately,
due to difficulties going on, but things have looked up now, so hopefully I'll be able to make it.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
excited to compete against Paul Passmore because in practice it's gonna probably be the same result it is in tournament or even worse. But if I catch a
It's
break,
going to be worse, I promise you.
if I can catch
Oh
a break,
yeah.
I'll be happy.
But I will say this: Paul Passmore's not going to be at Alabama State this time.
That's
I
right. He's
seen him. I seen
back.
him on a live last Friday night with Jody Williams,
Right.
and because of his obligations to you may have heard about it with Knuckles Up and what have you,
He's got
and
Matt.
that being yeah, he's got a match. He's finally getting the due process or what have you that you would fill in the blank there,
He's
along
getting his.
with Cody Wood too. Cody
He's.
Wood's going against Hellboy.
They're both getting their recognition. That's well deserved. I'm very proud of both of them.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
basically. I know. So
yeah. So the 25th, we're going to see what's what because Paul on the last Friday night with Jody Williams, he's resting right now and he's ready to go basically for the 25th. And Cody Wood, I mean, yeah, me and him don't even talk, but whenever I'm at a practice, he'll say hello to me.
yeah.
um, anyways, so all right, so I got a few clips, right? A few more clips to show the people right here. We already seen the one where you're at Pull of the Mountains, right? And you just went right through Brett Johns right-handed, which was very impressive because of what I know about him. Then you got this cat right here. Now I don't know if you were able to see that, but at the very end of that clip, somebody's going woo, and it's a guy wearing a T-shirt without the sleeves. He's got tats, and he looks fairly fit. Do you
Right.
remember who that was?
I don't. I know his name's John, and he's an older gentleman. That's all I know. That
Gotcha.
Cody was the one yelling, making all that noise.
Was it towards your match or somebody else's?
Yeah, that was me pulling supers. I pulled against probably a 1 or 2 year guy. Beat him, was very surprised, and I was like, okay, guess I'm just gonna use the same trick again, pull inside, and I have to press. I'm gonna press. Ended up didn't get caught on either one of them.
Gotcha. Now I noticed. What is it? What is it? It was one of these. I think it was this one, right?
Ready, go.
All right. Now this was the clip where you're actually seen turning your hat like fucking Sylvester Stallone, and your opponent is some dude in a white T-shirt.
Yeah,
at
that's.
the.
I watched some clips of him from the year before and was kind of watching him, and I kind of just had to beat him off of speed and hand position. So
Yeah.
I kind of open top rolled him. Figured he
So
probably.
your style and setup, right? Are you a high posting top roller or what?
I can right-handed. I like to pull outside. I'm a lot stronger inside, so I try not to reveal that as much. But I kind of try to keep back pressure and read them out a little bit, especially in practice. If I can pull somebody in practice who I know I'm going to pull against the tournament, I like to kind of post back pressure and feel them out. And then if that doesn't, if that doesn't come as strong to me, then I'll pull them inside, and usually I can pull just about anybody inside fresh. That's around my experience level.
So if you had a choice or wanted to get comfy and even battle, right? So you're actually a hooker,
I
but
am.
you disguise it.
I try to. Sometimes it doesn't come out as well, but I try to.
That's very interesting because I mean, just looking at the footage, man, you got a hell of a hit.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of my strong suits. I'm able to hit consistently, especially in a press. I can hold a decent press and just hit and hit and hit until it gives out. I mean, I'm going to be hurting on my tricep and my elbow the next day, but sometimes you got to sacrifice that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking into getting better at my outside. That way, I just don't have a singular trick, and I can come back from things. I've been getting better at my king's hook and being better in the supinated position.
Gotcha. That's actually good for defense.
It is. If I encounter someone who happens to be faster, has a better hook, or a better hit at all, I can work from a supinated position and defend and tire them out.
Now, what would you say in your life that attributed to you possibly being that strong in a supinated like this, basically in a supinated hook position? I mean, what do you do for a living or have done?
I've been a welder. I've been a fabricator. I've worked since I was about 16 or 17. I've done a bunch of stuff. I've done remodeling, basically stuff outside, and a lot of it comes from my dad. Just hanging out with him. I used to, power lift. I used to be a wrestler, and I also used to play football. So
I did see pictures of that. Now that you mentioned that, yeah. So wrestling, amateur wrestling. We're not talking about pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.
no,
We are talking about the real deal.
I've qualified for state, once or twice. Never really made it too far. Didn't get interested in it until I was like about in 8th grade. So
Yeah.
never was quite that at that level. But if I would have kept at it, I probably could have went somewhere for college, Division II or somewhere in there. But
How long did you altogether do wrestling?
I started in 8th grade, and then I wrestled 9th grade, 10th grade, junior year, and then I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu here and there.
Oh, MMA shit.
Yeah, just more grappling. Not really into kicking or nothing like that. I did do a little bit of taekwondo when I was younger, but I
Okay.
don't think anything.
And how long did you do the football thing?
I started football at about 7 years old, and I quit at about 17 years old.
Hmm.
So I played fullback, defensive line, running back, just about every position you can think of besides quarterback.
I mean, you're like a genetic freak, man.
Hey, if I'm so short, I could probably be somewhere right now, but I'm enjoying this arm wrestling thing right now.
Yeah, I bet, because like you seemingly have a serious natural talent for arm wrestling, and I believe more than anything else, probably the fact that you were a wrestler, right? You know, working those tendons, those joints, and the pulling and everything
Right.
constantly during a match and everything. I believe that's what's probably helped you out, probably the most body wise, to naturally, have the fast twitch muscles and hit hard like you're able to, and even have the hook power that you have.
I mean, it could be. I used to do a lot of heavy deadlifting too. That honestly is probably one of the main factors. And then timing with the 40 running. We used to run 40s once a week. Um, and just timing with the starts and all that will definitely help a lot too with your twitch fibers.
Okay. So would you just being totally green,
Right.
no offense,
Oh,
um, and blasting into the arm wrestling scene like you have, man. Like I wish I was you. Shit, I ain't gonna lie, man, because like, whew, I would be stirring up some shit for real.
yeah.
But you know, what is what has been your training lately here? Are
I've
are
been
you like once a week over the table, and then in between you're doing your little blood flow exercises with the bands and stuff, or what do you do?
so my usual training is which I haven't trained in probably a 2 week, 2 or 3 weeks. I've been out of a vehicle, so I just got me another one. I'm about to start my training back up. But I've definitely recovered and noticed a lot of strength coming back to me, and a lot of things that have healed that have not gotten to heal. Um, I pulled on the table a little bit the other day and felt way stronger than I've ever felt. But
I'm telling you right now, in my journey, now that you're talking about this, right, this is something that I didn't want to learn or what have you, but it just came upon me, right? I'm telling you, your biggest friend in training, practicing, all that, right, is rest. Because, like,
I've noticed that.
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, bro, because, like, there's been multiple times where this guy would be hosting a practice and we would be going consecutive amount of times once a week over the table. Then I'm doing my two jobs, digging a fucking hole with a post hole digger, and then I'm doing my other main job to have an income, right? And I'm also once or twice going to the gym and everything. But I'm telling you, the times where a practice wasn't being hosted and we missed a week or we missed 2 weeks or even missed 3 plus or 3 weeks, right? And then you come to a practice, man, them tendons are fresh as fuck, baby. You already know.
And you're
You
enjoying
feel strong.
time to recover as well. You know, twice a week on Wednesdays, they have the Dragons Den practice, or it might be Thursdays now at 4:30. Thursdays at 4:30. We'll pull from
Is
4:30.
that over there with Mac Ruiz and them?
No, that's with Kyle Spots, Cody Wood, and Cody Wood.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. I'm actually connected with Kyle Spots.
So I'll go in there and get all the tents and stuff ready, get them all blood flowing and all that. And then Sundays after church, I'll go to Paul Passmore's with a tiny group we've been doing, and we're we got a guy from Florida. He's very, very good. Can't move him. He gives
What's
Paul.
his name?
His name's Dustin. Don't know his last name. And then we've got another guy.
Wait a minute. Is that Dustin Height? Hyatt?
I'm not sure. I know he's from.
He's like a young, short brown, light brown, or dark kind of like hair.
He's got a big old beard. He's tatted up. Um, he just
Okay, that's somebody else.
not too long ago. Very strong puller. He's gonna do good in Georgia. Very good. He's pretty strong. He's probably the strongest dude that I've felt that's near Paul's weight in Georgia at the moment. Besides Rusty, I pulled with Rusty at Gold Rush. Very strong dude too.
That was at a bar, wasn't it?
I think it was Gold Rush up there in Dahlonega.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about a Gold Rush tournament. Very small at a bar or some location.
So the event is Gold Rush, but they have a separate tournament there.
Okay.
It's got a bigger crowd than Pool of the Mountains, to be honest. But
Is it like a super series where it's all super matches, or is it actual tournament?
it's tournament style. They have amateur and pro class.
Okay. Okay.
But on Sundays I pull with Paul Passmore in that small little group. We were doing increment exercises, kind of like circuit training, just arm wrestling, short increments, and then working out short increments, and then going back and forth, and then we'd end it with a longer workout. But just kind of building strength up that I haven't been to an actual gym in probably a year, so all of my stuff has been right and left hand focused on the table.
Gotcha. Is now during those practices was Paul training on his left arm?
Yeah, I do a little bit
Because
of training.
like I know he has a chronic injury on that left arm, and he's not 100.
Oh no,
Hasn't been for some time now.
I think he's getting back to it. Like I said, I just got into the sport, so, and I really have just gotten really serious about pulling. So I just now started training my left hand, but from the feel of it, not much has been lost.
Now, you've also trained with Mason Watson, who I know very well and personally, but he's been like,
Ghost disappeared.
he's seriously, yeah, he's been like a freaking ghost, And so, what was your experience pulling with that young man?
Right off the rip, very, very strong left-handed puller. I came into the sport naturally strong right-handed, so.
Really, he was stronger than you on the left.
But on the right hand, maybe the first 2 times I pulled with him, he gave me a problem, and then after that, the newbie gangs kicked in, and nothing more than that, honestly.
Gotcha.
Very,
So okay, because like I know he's actually a right-hander, right? He's not a left-hander.
yeah.
If he can get you in that lock right-handed, it's over with. You may
I,
know what I'm talking about too.
I think that's what the lack of it was, because when he tried, I would mostly just lat drag back towards me in a low-handed hook and kind of just take the bottom of his hand away from him.
Yeah,
But in
because
practice,
he is he is a good hooker on the right arm, and
yeah,
if he can get you in that lock he has, well, that shit is like a brick wall. Like,
better presser.
was it? Oh, really?
Very good presser.
Gotcha.
But that's my bread and butter at the moment is my press, my flop press. To be honest, I can
A
take
flop wrist press.
I can take
Really?
a surprise with that.
Yeah.
And
When I actually started and what I was known for some months there at the beginning after, and this is recorded on the FAL, the Florida Arm Wrestling League. It's the Spring Hill SmackDown of 2023.
right,
When I went down there in Florida, uh, that's where I got my first pro victory. It was technically semi-pro, but the way the AriusArms.com, according to Corey Miller, who had explained it to me, semi-pro or pro, they're going to be attributed as pro stats. So that was the first and last time I got a right-handed victory, and I was a flop presser.
yeah,
Yep,
that's
both arms.
I try to burn people out right-handed if I can hold them, using back pressure or side pressure or whatever in an outside pulling position. Go lower on their hand and flop press through them, and that's okay by me. I mean, get it over with quick and painlessly, for me at least.
Yeah. Um, so what are the supplements you take?
I don't do anything, any injections or nothing like that. I'm all natural, but I do have rheumatoid arthritis, so I take Kevzari, which is an anti-inflammatory. Take magnesium, turmeric, and collagen, and I'm looking to get into some peptides for faster recovery. Because as of right now, I'm at a disadvantage being arthritic, joint
Yeah,
wise. So
you're talking about BPC 157.
just doctor prescribed peptides, just anything.
Okay,
I got a rheumatologist, so it's probably talk to him. So I'm coming up about it.
man, that bruh, that must be nice.
Yeah, well, insurance is a nice thing, but it's expensive.
Gotcha. Yeah. You must be working the premium level. For
I,
real.
as of right now, I'm unemployed, but I get discounted insurance. My mom's an insurance agent, so if I'm on their policy, I get it pretty cheap.
Awesome. Hey, love you, mom. For real.
Right? He knows all the tricks.
That's pretty cool. I mean that is very cool having your mother working insurance like that and everything. That's very cool.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it wise you up about some things at a young
oh
age.
yeah. Now tell me, man, because like we eked this out earlier in the episode, but let's talk about your royalty, man. Your predecessors, like your dad. Tell us all those stories, man, because like your dad is seriously an OG of the sport.
Yeah, my dad.
But but as far as you've told me though, he's never gone outside the state. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, he's never gone outside the state. He's pulled. I mean, he's gone into. I don't know if you know about Dave Randall. He used to own a titty bar in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and used to manage it and have an arm wrestling table in there. And my dad's pulled
Yeah,
with.
Dave Randall. It, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, but there's a documentary film that was done years ago, uh, and it's called "Living the Pool." And Dave Randall was on there because Dave Randall, if I remember correctly, he was like a really big dude, very
Yeah,
built, and him and Travis Bagent had a rivalry a little bit going on.
I think he was
And
a teen time championship winning professional.
yeah,
Back very strong dude. Probably still strong to this day.
yeah.
Um,
All right, continue your story. I'm sorry. So Dave Randall owned a titty bar.
my dad went in there and pulled him for $50. They pulled in a hook for about 5 minutes straight, and Dave Randall beat my dad, and he told him that he was probably the strongest little dude he ever pulled with. My dad back in the day was way smaller than me. I mean, he was probably 5'8", 170 pounds, but he's
Wow.
straight up cock strong. So it's probably where I get some of my stuff from. But he's pulled with guys from Kentucky, pros from Kentucky, Tennessee, stuff like that from the '90s, early 2000s.
Gotcha. Now, your dad, what do you think attributed the most to him being that strong naturally?
Um, Working outside. I mean, this is what
Was he a farmer?
relatively sometimes. You know, Ron Bath. You know who Ron Bath is. You know who Ron Bath is.
Yeah, yeah. Ron Bath, he's an OG in Georgia,
You got
along with Johnny
yeah.
the Iceman Walker, and then even Jerome Loud come, is down here in Valdosta, and it's one of them things. Even these days, I've asked this question, and I'll ask you that real quick. Who do you think out of all these OGs, Jerome Loud, Ron Bath, Paul Passmore, Cody Wood, we'll throw him up there too. Who do you think in just the state of Georgia is the strongest right-hander? You got Dave Hobbs, and then you got
Depends on who we're talking about. If we're talking about pound for pound, or just
yeah. No, I'm talking about like overall, like a overall like
pound
stronger.
for
Uh,
pound, I would have to say Cody Wood. Overall, Paul Passmore and Ron Bath, they're pretty close. I've seen them go to war at practice.
Yeah.
Paul is just now getting back into his right hand really good. Ron Bath has always been absolutely just a fucking monster. Love that guy.
Yeah, like
He's
that
one of
dude
my.
he's big. Like that's a what 6'4", 6'5", you know,
I think
and
he's
he's
62 years
jacked.
old. He's 62 years old, and he picks up the Thomas inch dumbbell like it's nothing. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But it's
Now
just.
you don't know nothing about Jerome Loud though, do you?
I don't think I do. Like I said, I'm
He's
just looking.
called the Apex Predator, and he is actually nationally ranked on armfighter.com.
I would love to pull with him or go to a practice and learn some stuff from him. Even I mean, I'm down for
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. There's a guy who trains with him who I met who's very green and seemingly promising career too. His name is Luke Rovig, right? And he pulls down there with Jerome Loud and them in Valdosta. And I mean, Jerome Loud, he's an OG for real in the state of Georgia, but he's not. He's one of those cats who's quiet and don't get the respect or the recognition that he deserves too. Now, he's had super matches with like Matt Mask, at an event. He's traveled down to Florida, but with these guys, and this is the same conversation I had with Paul Passmore. Like some of these old school cats, they just don't understand the power of social media for real.
And
And the thing is nobody's gonna sell you but yourself. So you got to learn how to sell yourself like a businessman. You know.
and that's what I've been working on. I've been trying to get on with the TikTok and the Instagram and all that and the YouTube, and just kind of.
Actually, TikTok is dead now because I don't know if you've noticed here recently, thanks to Donald Trump. Nothing against him though, uh, but and even CapCut, I can't even do my CapCut because like U.S. regulations, straight
You know,
up.
TikTok's back on now. I don't know if it's going anywhere. It went somewhere for a day. I mean, 12 hours. But there's other streaming platforms. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that you
Yep.
could influence on. I mean, Instagram was one of the original ones, so that's always going to be there. Snapchat too. You got a lot of influencers on Snapchat, especially Alex Toprol. He's one of the main guys on there, as well as Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels started his career off really well, um, training with Devin and a bunch of other guys. It's just he's crazy. He's getting there. He's getting there quick.
He's actually been on a hiatus for some time though.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really been keeping up with him. I kind of just watch people and see what they got going on and kind of try to keep.
You ever come across Eddie and Wait, the arm wrestling whisperers stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's good, but after I watched what Cody Wood did to him, I'm not impressed by him.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was actually not for real. They've never pulled.
no. Well,
But yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Had the Goku thing and everything in it.
yeah. Well, apparently they did pull or felt each other out, but
Really?
yeah. Apparently he's. What I've heard is, and this is no diss to the West Coast guys, but heard they're pretty weak. They just got good technique, and that's all they got.
Gotcha.
From what I've heard, the Southeast has the best strength pullers out of here, out of all of it. You got South
Oh
Carolina.
yeah, yeah. That was a conversation on another podcast not too long ago about the Southeast too. Yeah.
And I can attest to that. I mean, even you got to think these guys in the European countries, they're strong. They live and eat and breathe arm wrestling. Most of them do it professionally, and a lot of the guys here do it as a hobby or as another thing they add on. A lot of
Yeah.
us, a lot of us work
Yeah.
jobs here. I mean, we don't have the luxury of doing that full time and having sponsors. And a lot of us are still stronger in lifts than most of the guys out of the Slavic countries like Russia. I mean, I'd love to pull with some Russians or some Georgians, to be honest with you. Like, I'd love to just learn stuff from them. That would be adequate. That'd be cool.
All right, so going back, and rewinding, I know there's a big gap there in between, but you were talking about your dad. He pulled in a titty bar with Dave Randall, and what else can you tell? Like he's pulled guys from Kentucky and Tennessee.
Right.
Didn't you tell me he actually got involved a little bit with the WAL?
I think it's the USAA league they did in Atlanta a while back. There, I showed you some photos from it. He placed third, I think, in a division there for his weight class, and he's a strong guy overall, and he's like a brick wall. I mean, he really is. Everything's
Can
connected. Steve Woodall, that's who my dad trained with as a kid. Steve Woodall.
have to look him up. All right, so when going back even further on this episode, when you did that, you said you did amateur and pro right hand in the Pull of the Mountain tournament.
Not in the Pull of the Mountains. I just that was my first ever tournament, so I just pulled amateur, and I probably should have pulled some pro, to be honest, because I didn't really even struggle in amateur, which is it's kind of a sad thing here in Georgia. In Florida, they've got the semi pros, like you mentioned earlier, which are kind of in between buffer area, and I feel like I'm definitely either on the lower end of the pro class or somewhere in the mid to high range of the semi professional class. I mean, I can compete with some of the pro guys here.
So you got a gold medal or was it silver?
Um, I've never lost an amateur tournament, so um, my first ever amateur tournament, I pulled soup, I pulled super, and
Yeah, I never won gold in my first tournament.
pulled the
I
two.
got
And that was
two silver and one bronze.
I got you. And then pull the mountains or not pull the mountain, Gold Rush. I pulled and I won amateur left hand and amateur right handed first place there. And
Nice. We love left-handed game. Right-handed arm wrestling is overrated.
oh, if you can be strong left handed, I think that's impressive, especially if you're a right handed dominant person.
Yeah, it's just weird with me because really I'm a right-hander. Like everything I do right-handed. But for some reason, my left is better than my right over the table.
I pulled better left handed outside than I do right handed outside. So, but I just don't have the strength on my right hand or on my left hand. I do on the right hand, but the connectivity is definitely there a lot better outside left handed.
Gotcha.
My main goal at the moment is just to learn and stack up technique and just gain rank and pull as many people as I can along the way, and hopefully get me a spot in the next 3 years somewhere higher up and start influencing and making some money in the sport and kind of boosting it up.
Now, what do you do for recovery? And what I mean is, like, for me, right? You know, obviously you can do your blood flow exercises with the bands and shit like that, whatever, and high reps, low weight. You know, like I take Epsom salt baths. Like I do no cold therapy. Um, what do you do?
I do I do this. It's like systematic shock. If I get really sore, and I used to do this when I powerlifted, um, for recovery. You know where Hartwell is, right? Hartwell, Georgia, over there by Anderson, South Carolina.
Is that's got to be near the uh, that's got to be near the fucking airport, right?
No, it's so Athens is here. I'm here. Hartwell's right above me. So 40 minutes outside of it. It's basically South Carolina. Um, when it would get cold like this and times
Oh,
would,
South Carolina.
yeah,
Okay. Shit.
the
I'm thinking about Hartfield,
no,
Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia at the airport. I had a
Hartwell.
brain fart there.
Yeah, no, it's right above. It's right above where I live, and if I ever got really sore or anything, I'd drive up there in temperatures like this, and I'd take a cold plunge for about a minute, get out of it, and you'll be cold, but you'll be a lot less sore. And with the arm wrestling, I try to.
Have you ever tried hot therapy, though?
I have. It does not work as good as cold for me.
Did you use Epsom salt?
I've used just about everything.
Okay, so cold is your go-to. Okay.
Yeah, you got
I
some
mean, everybody's different.
It's the systematic shock for me. Kind of confusing it, going from hot to cold,
Yeah.
hot. It's almost like using icy hot, to be honest. I mean, I do use a little bit of Tiger Balm or magnesium. I put on lidocaine or Tiger Balm before a match, and take some magnesium before a match just to help me not be as sore the next day. So
Shit, you want to know what I did for my last tournament?
yeah,
I took 2 goody powders, right? And then I had 2 double shots of whiskey with ginger ale. I'm telling you, bro, that left handed, I went 6-1. And I only lost on fouls because of my inspiration, Tim Bresnan. He fouled me out. It was IFA rules. I don't know if you know anything about that, but
I
I'm
don't.
telling you, bro, IFA rules are tight as fuck.
I
And
think
they're very strict.
Tim's actually going to be refing my match more than likely with Ike Ford.
Oh, really? He's
Yeah.
going to be at Alabama, huh?
Now that's going to be after Alabama State. I'm pulling 242s,
Oh,
Alabama State, and I'm going to pack on weight after that to pull Ike Ford for a supers ranking just to get my foot in the door. Kind of get.
oh. So what is the name of the event or what have you that Tim Bresnan is supposedly going to ref you at?
Oh, it's just my super match with Ike Ford. Just my.
Oh,
It's
okay.
house more than likely.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
Me personally, I don't like him, at least IFA rule wise, right? I do not like him as a ref. I mean, the guy is half blind. He's
He was actually.
half deaf. And with all this, I know Tim Breston wants to wring my neck, but I love you, Tim.
He was
Cheers, buddy.
that pull the mountains. He did pretty good. Some of the faster stuff I noticed on playbacks that he can't catch just due
Yeah,
to the hitting speed or whatever. But I guess
yeah,
that's very refs for sometimes. I mean, nobody's perfect, and at the end of the day, we're all trying to boost the sport. So
yeah. But nobody. I mean, even I know Ryan Belanger, the bull,
yeah,
who trains. I mean, nobody, no real arm wrestler wants a handicap ref to ref their match as a head ref. You do not want that because and this is where I'm supposedly the bad guy, right? But I don't know if you've seen it at the Great American Bash, right? Right-handed, Cody Wood had his hair flaring and everything, and then Roman Gronov hit him right in that first round or first meeting they had because Cody had to actually beat him twice, right? Gromov was actually on the winning side, right? And I swear to God, Cody was flat from the camera on the footage and the camera you see on Cody was flat. But the problem is his fucking hair was all over here and everything, and that's why later on, not in that round, but later on, because I'm sure Roman Gromov was like pissed, like, bruh, you didn't see that pin, I'm sure I know he was giving it to Tim. That's why you see later on where Cody actually finally puts his hair up in a bond because like his hair was just like all over blocking the whole view of the ref. Yeah, you can see Tim down there squatting. He's trying to see, what's, if it's a pin or not, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it is, I made a comment about that. And so, Tim Bresnan wants to choke me out. So whatever.
And you'll have stuff like that in every sport. I mean, all refs are controversial. Um, whether it be any sport, football, basketball, wrestling, anything, you're always gonna have some bad calls. But I'm just thankful for the guys like that are keeping the sport alive and taking their time out of their day to referee and host tournaments. Big shout out to Kyle Spots and Joe Rogers for hosting the tournaments in Georgia, especially in North
Oh
Georgia.
yeah, like I wish they would bring back that fucking Super Series, because I got a guy in Texas, right, who wants to go again left-handed. When
Yeah.
I was sponsored, I was seriously sponsored. I was less than 2 years into the sport, brother. So hopefully I can inspire you and other people to show y'all that, if you make the right kind of waves in the social media world, God forbid, that you can actually get sponsored to an event. And I was actually fully sponsored, paid flight and hotel accommodations to AW5. And I basically, not completely, but I basically, defeated my left, and he's wanting to go again.
Right.
And so I had contacted Kyle, and he told me, he doesn't know when they're doing the next Super Series again. Because, like, I thought that would be perfect. We could, because, like, I'm all about making, like, promos, like WWE style, whatever you want to call it, and just selling the fucking match and everything. Bro, but, Kyle, last time I talked to him about it, they ain't doing it, and so, I don't
I'm
know.
hoping here coming up, I can get some publicity going on around. I live near Athens, Georgia, so that's a big hot spot for people who like to watch things, and especially the football. But I'm trying to do some stuff with some of the bars or anybody out there, any sports complexes going around in Athens. Get some tournaments hosted out there, and hopefully this year or next I can get a series or a tournament going there, just to kind of boost the publicity out here and get more pullers into the sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Because where I'm at is kind of a barren area. You got North Georgia pullers and you got South Georgia pullers, and there's really nobody in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of groups. I mean, I even know of a guy who, Stephen or Stephen Spencer over there in Columbus. I mean, that motherfucker's strong, bruh.
You've got a rough and a lot of people who aren't recognized, I feel like, and a lot of people who want to be recognized that aren't as good as they think they are. Um, but it's all for the love of the game to me. I love it all.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on again to the show, sharing your story, and I guess that's all, folks. Um, so.
Alrighty, for having me.
Yeah, yeah, it was seriously an honor, and hopefully, maybe, who knows, maybe one day I could get your dad on here, and
Yeah, bed right now. He had a rough day at work.
oh yeah,
Maybe next time we'll get him on and talk about some stuff.
yeah, I mean that would be very cool. What is his first and last name? Because he may have some ARSarms.com stats.
I don't think he does, but his name's Jason Parker.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out later on.
He may
For
have some
real.
things from the 90s or 2000s in there. The last time he went to tournament was, I believe, between 2016 and 2020. Could be in there somewhere. It was the USAA League. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Well, thank
Appreciate you.
you. All right.
Yeah. All right, we got a comment. Jay Coben, what's up, bro? Hey, speaking of Jay Coben, check this out, man. I had my dog. I had my dog hit me up, right? And this is what he had to say.
My man, what's up, G? Man, I just wanted to stop by and tell you doing a great job, man. Fuck all those haters. Definitely fuck Ryan Grondin in the 98%. Keep your head up, G. Stay cool. Peace, man.
Yes, sir. We love Snoop Dogg. Appreciate the comment there. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, like this kid, yeah, good show, fellas. I'm telling you, Jacobin, that kid is 18 years old. And I know the guys, some of the guys he's beaten. It's fucking crazy, dude. But, it is what it is. Appreciate you watching. Want to shout out to my true fans and subscribers, all 127 of you. I did have 29 a few days ago, but two people dropped out. So, yeah, it is what it is. But nonetheless, want to thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully, the next episode I can have Bart Wood because Bart Wood got sick. He contacted me reasonably beforehand so I could scramble and figure out what the fuck to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got some powerful friends. That's actually a strong word for me, but to be honest, bro, I ain't got no friends for real. I have acquaintances. Yep, I take that F word very seriously. But again, shout out to my true fans and subscribers, and to my haters, suck a dick for real. But keep drinking the haterade for real, because right now, Earnhard is out. Peace.